In Pirate Software's first part of his latest video series, he mentions the initiative for Stop Killing the Games and why he doesn't agree with it, which is fair. He isn't obligated to, and in this case he even mentions he's not even eligible to vote for it, so it wouldn't matter if he was really for it. But the problem is his reasoning and the way he portrays the initiative. According to multiple comments on his video, he allegedly likes deleting comments from the main supporter of the initiative, which is Ross. This person right here was able to retrieve said comment, which I believe is the original comment from Ross, the person running the Stop the Kill Games initiative. I think From Software makes some fair points, but he also massively misrepresents Stop Killing the Games, like saying the initiative should be for one game and that it would damage other games because some code is server side, which realistically the point of the initiative is to make sure all games with a single player and multiplayer component that can be maintained by the players who are still passionate about the games exists. And it's not necessarily the case that, oh yeah, you need to make every game single player now. You can still have server binaries that support the ability to actually just run the server by yourself. Or I think even some games like host the server along with the game, which again defeats the whole like argument. But usually these server binaries are just held without any real reason. The campaign isn't supposed to dunk on developers and put more on their plate. It's to make sure developers have less vague guidelines on how they're allowed to handle live service experiences and reduce the potential for companies to make games that force you on to their sequels when they feel it's time to pull the trigger. I do believe in some cases it's less realistic to offer the server component, but that's usually intentional and most of the time the fault of the developers. I'm sure there are fringe cases, as some people might say, but because I'm sure more than enough games literally required, like at most, like a 50 megabyte folder of files to be sent to like one or two people in the community, and those games would be more than playable either way. It shouldn't be on the player to hold on to the hope that they can keep the game. Like if the developer really wanted you to have the game, they wouldn't just destroy it or take it away. If the game has a single player component, just make an offline patch. We all know there's no game breaking reason to make the game send your single player game data to an online server. I mean, FromSoft figured it out decades ago. Somehow I can still play Dark Souls without access to the server. Weird. Nah, you know what? I think they should have made Dark Souls a live service game. Make sure they take that away. You know, it's crazy. To be fair, like, I think everybody who's mad at Ubisoft, they're mad at the wrong people. We should get on to FromSoft, ask them why their game still works. Tell them, hey, shut down the servers. Make sure nobody can play. What are you doing? You know, it's impossible. I don't think Ubisoft should be held to such high standards just because this company pulled it off. You know, why would they be expected to do anything with... Why would they be expected to do anything? Maybe it's the high-tech cars, like the servers cost more, you know? It must be so hard to run. Or all the leaderboard statistics, bro. I need all of it. Just give me the numbers, bro. Seriously? Leaderboards? That's the reason I can't play my game? Numbers? Just get rid of the numbers. I don't care if it's a laggy menu with like black and... the black and magenta textures. You can make the number black and magenta textures. Just get rid of the textures for all the numbers in the game. I don't care. I'll play the game without it. I promise I don't mind. Just give me the game back. I think this initiative is enough of a step in the right direction to at least set a precedent that players aren't going to be walked over anymore, and that games need to stay preserved. And actually, you know, once you buy a game or even a license to a game, or yeah, we may as well go back to that argument of if buying isn't, or no, if paying for the game isn't buying it, pirating it apparently ain't stealing it, you know? I'm just borrowing a license, bro. Just borrowing it real quick. Don't worry. Just need to check through the source code. Actually, it doesn't even come with source code. I'm just yapping. I also find it interesting how his examples in part 2 were mainly just free to play games. Like, of course you don't own the game at that point. It is just like you're downloading files off of server. If they stop working, oh well, I wasted my internet connection. But other than that, of course I don't own the free to play game. Chill. I'm not that mad about it. Like, of course, if I'm investing in assets and stuff, it would be nice to get it in like asset form or whatever, like a model file or something, or turn Fortnite into a model viewer, for example, or any other games that have skins. Would it be the most ideal case? No, but oh well, at least I'd have something to say, like, oh yeah, look at all this stuff I collected. And then I find it odd that a part 2 was made without addressing the comment from Ross. He also only really brings half points like, well, the developer will be abused to have the server shut down so that third parties can monetize server binaries. In that case, just run bot protection. Like the whole thing that he was saying was like, there'll be like the servers will be abused by like bots or whatever, to where it becomes monetarily not viable to keep the servers up. But in that case, just run bot protection. Like, what are you doing, Pirate Software? You literally made a short explaining the solution for the problem. You're pulling problems out of nowhere, bro. What are you on? Just run some primitive bot protection, and then when there are more bots than players for a long enough period of time, the game is probably dead at that point. Just cut the plug and accept the game will run in more of an anarchist state. Third parties might profit, but I'm sure there'll be enough people hosting for free or figuring out ways to preserve the game in a fair manner, and the game doesn't have to die. I also find the response quite interesting because Pirate Software failed to address Ross's statement. Again, I don't know if this is some kind of trick to avoid giving him attention, but he may as well not have made a video on the topic at all if he's not even going to address the main guy. And he, like, Ross could have just made a second video. He might have made a second video. Either way, he even went into the comments to try and do that stuff, and that gets you like less exposure and whatnot. Actually, it might give you more exposure, but either way, the point is, what are you doing to Ross, dude? Just address the dude's points. Talk to him, have a conversation, do a podcast or something. Now, gain monetary value off of this. At least address the stuff. Nah, skip over everything. Like, if it's true, maybe it's not true. Maybe people are making up a story that he won't respond to the comments. You know, it's kind of weird that he's the one calling everyone disingenuous. Like, huh? When he's the one that's not even open for conversation and calling people disingenuous? Like, Yeah, but with that being said, tell me if I got something wrong. I might have gotten something wrong. Probably did get something wrong. But, you know, don't forget to do all the YouTube things. Like, sub, leave a comment. Say if I was wrong, or if you agree with something. Say whatever. Say ferret. Just put ferret in the comment. That I think that would be the best thing. Or just, you know, if I got something wrong, there will be a part 2, and I will be addressing comments. I don't know if some people can do that, you know, they probably can't, but